Okay, we're back. Sorry guys about that. I always seem to have technical difficulties with when I live stream, unfortunately. Hopefully I can be accessible to more features with live streams in the future where I can fix these problems better. That happened to end the stream and restart it. Because I don't think my Wi-Fi is that bad. Because it always says connection issues but like no, at the same time I do have bad Wi-Fi here. I mean it can Wi-Fi my Wi-Fi here can be really great sometimes, but when it gets bad, it can be really bad. Um uh, but yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. But we're gonna continue the live stream and I think I'll end it around 9. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna really go till like 9:30. It would be one thing if like a bunch of people were in the live stream tonight and I could like answer a lot of questions, talk to fans, but talk to subscribers. But um, yeah, I think I'll just continue this on until the till 9. Um, Probably like 9:10, 9:10. I'll end it around there. So maybe like a little bit sooner before 9:30, but yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have a good rest of the live stream. We're back, but the sound is off again. I hope not. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Whew. All right. Okay. All right. We're back. I can never like sit up like this. I want to, but it's just so hard for me. I don't know what my posture. I mean, I saw a chiropractor when I was in high school, and even like out of high school because my back is like bad. I mean, I don't know. I think I have scoliosis. I hope it's not going to be like issue when I get older, but um, everything seems pretty treatable though. So, but yeah, like I have a hard time sitting straight. Like most of the time I'm like sitting like this or like this because like I'm very uncomfortable when I sit just like normal. But yeah. So I'm trying to get better at that. It's just so hard. All right. All right, Kaylee. I guess we'll talk about movies. One cool thing I'd love to play in the background. I got something for Christmas, something funny. It's like a Grinch. What do I call it? It's Merry Christmas animation. Play holiday melody. I'm gonna play it in the background, but I'll bring my phone to make sure that it gets the audio clearly. All right. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as a heel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. I wouldn't touch you with Yeah, I got that for Christmas. That's awesome. I love Grinch merch, and that's the best. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I love the animated Grinch, like the Boris Karloff. I just I could never get into the Jim Carrey Grinch, even though like I love many Jim Carrey movies. Like I grew up with Jim Carrey, and he was like my favorite comedian growing up. But I was not a fan of him as the Grinch. I don't think he was the right actor for the character. He just he just couldn't play villain. You know what I mean? Like Boris Karloff, played Frankenstein and the Mummy, and all these villains. So he like was perfect, for the Grinch. And when they made the Grinch movie live action, they didn't really seem like they were looking for someone that was on the Boris Karloff level, of like villainy, what Boris Karloff brought to that character. And I think that really hurt the film because also they tried to make the Grinch sound all, and he why, why can't he talk, just like average, like villain voice? Like, why does he have to have this, that really took me out of it. Cause I think also Jim Carrey's Grinch, if he would have talked not like that, I could have got into it much more. So, but yeah, the original animation, Boris Karloff, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, always be my favorite. And I've loved it since I was a kid. That music, I mean, it's timeless, and then it's like under a half hour, it's that's what's amazing about it. And I mean, the animated Grinch movie they did that came out like I think a few years ago, that was all right. It wasn't bad, but it was all right. But I still think we haven't gotten like a proper Grinch film since that Boris Karloff one, and it's like, how can you? That was lightning in a bottle, Yeah, it's Grinch is an icon. And I love the story of like that he was like someone that didn't have a heart and hated the world and everything, and then he had like a change of heart, and like I do love that. Like I love that redemption arc of like, someone that is like bad and then becomes good, you know. Um it's just those are really powerful stories to me. Redemption stories are very deep and make you feel all these different things. So yeah, that's the thing. My favorite part of the Grinch, his story is his redemption. It's touch to top what came. You mean it's difficult to top what came before, but I just hope we don't get a really shitty AI Grinch movie. Yeah. That's probably what's next. With AI, we're we don't even know like what we're in for. AI is going to become so crazy. But I do have a couple movies series that I'm going to be creating in the future, and already are. Like I'm writing right now, but I have my own, but each different movie franchise, and they have and it's science fiction. Yes, I mean one is science fiction horror, science fiction slasher, and then the other is just science fiction. But the way I wrote like what happens in the future, how like in our world with AI, like I'm not gonna really, I don't want to like spoil my movies, but I have my own predictions of what could happen. And it I mean I guess I won't speak like as I'm speaking through my screenplays. I'll just speak through like my own It's really my own prediction of what happened with AI. Either humanity will destroy AI will get out of hand, and humans will have to be forced to stop artificial intelligence because it will get so bad, and humans will reach that level. Like, okay, we gotta end AI now because it's gonna destroy us. It's gonna destroy the world. Um, it's like that's either gonna happen or AI will take over everything and they will destroy humanity and it'll be like the dinosaur extinction, dinosaurs ruled our planet first and then the humans came after. um you know uh that's kind of, hum- uh, humans would be, we're the dinosaurs, and we get extinct by artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence takes over this planet and everything because AI, they'll come to such an advancement where, they don't need the things that we need, so they can survive in ways that we can't. So yeah, I think it'll go either one way or the other. There's really no other way. I mean, there's just two ways I see it. Artificial intelligence heading. I don't see this going well. I really don't. It's starting out as something that people are experimenting with, and oh, this is all cool. And, you know, that only can last so long. But Skynet, but it'll be doomsday because AI gets annoyed with humans requesting furry pics. Oh, that's funny. That's good, Kaylee. I cannot sit straight. I just can't. I'm trying here. Now, Kayla, I want to get your opinion. What do you think a cooler color of an iMac, like like in my room, like my office, setting that I have right here, my desk. Uh, do you think blue or green is cooler? Blue is calming. It'll be good when editing. Okay, okay. Um, yeah, I'm kind of like I'm undecided uh right now because like the green iMac that that is out there, like I really like that model. I mean, the red one no longer exists, and like that's like the color that I like want for my next iMac realistically. But I have a blue iPhone 17 Pro Max, and then I have my MacBook Air is midnight blue. So I already have two Apple products that are blue. I think that's why my mind was thinking about the iMac being green, was so it'd be something a little different from average blue because I have a lot of things blue. Um, so I wanted to kind of like try something new. But I love blue. Um, so like I don't know. I don't know. I'm so conflicted right now over a color on a computer. Like that's the only thing is the color. Blue, green, like I don't know. I'm so conflicted. I've never been so conflicted with green and blue in my life. But yeah, blue is very calming and yeah, definitely like it's easy like for the eyes. it's not like it doesn't get distracting. That's my favorite thing about blue is it doesn't get distracting. Because red can, but like I can handle that red distraction though. Like I just love because I love the color of red. The colors grew on me as I've gotten older. Like blue was always like my favorite color, but then like red and green grew on me more the older I got. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion. Regardless, you can always change the desktop wallpaper or something blue or relaxing for you. So if you like green, go for it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Just want to I don't know. Was just curious with the green model on the iMac. I just think that one looks the coolest in my opinion. The red is no longer there, which was the coolest one in my opinion. The silver one's really cool too. I mean, I really like that silver one. And my iMac is silver, but this is like an older one. Um, but like the silver one's really cool. But yeah, I've always wanted an Apple product that was green. I just didn't know exactly like what Apple product that I would have that would be green. But yeah, and then also like editing A Christmas Nightmare, Freddy Krueger with the green, you know, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I don't know. But thank you for the advice, Kaylee. I do appreciate it. I've been trying to get a lot of people's opinions about it. I mean, it's not a computer you're going to be seeing like on my channel. Like, I mean, it's going to, like it's going to be my webcam, obviously from the iMac. But it's just yeah. Like, all right, I'll just say I may have the blue one right now, and it's in the box. I have not opened it. Um, uh, because I've been thinking about taking it to Best Buy for the green model. But there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that. That doesn't want to do that though, because I do love the blue. It does look great, and I wonder if I'll like live with any regret, with getting the green model instead, and like thinking like, oh, I had all those days to, decide the blue one. I had it right there, that iMac box right there, Um, so yeah, because I honestly I don't know like which color I'll like more in the long run on the computer. But yeah. Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta take a sip of my water. Okay, sorry about that. Just my throat, sorry. Okay. See if I raise this down a bit. We can like get my sweater better. Okay, that's cool. Go with your heart. I hate to bring it back to Wes, but his typewriter was something he cherished. He picked it personally, and it was something he, though, was an extension of him. He treated it well. Oh, wow. I can't believe I didn't know that. I can't believe I didn't know that. Thank you, Kaylee, educating me about that. I did not know that Wes Craven. Um, I mean, I knew he had a typewriter. I didn't know that it meant that much to him, though. Um, and he thought it was an extension of himself. Wow, that's it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, it's just like I don't know, like for like the past year, like my mind's been thinking about a new Mac, a new iMac, and the green. I just like really enjoyed the. I even did like the like on the app now on the Apple Store app, you can like it's called Animal Rec. I cannot. I'm terrible with words. Um, but you basically it's where you can you I mean you let them you give them access to like your camera like but like basically you like film somewhere in your room of like where you would want your iMac to be, like your desk or something, and then it places that iMac, whether it's the blue or the green, any model of the iMac, and it'll show you how it'll look, like in your room, your office, wherever. And it's that's really cool that feature now, because then I can get a better feeling for like if that which color I want, because sometimes it's like it's different when when you see the iMac like at the Apple store, at Best Buy, and then and then at home, because like the lighting is different and everything. So it's cool that you're able to do that now. People are able to do that now. It helped me decide which color that I wanted the most, but yeah. But the blue looks so cool too. It really does. It does. It really does. It reminds me of like the iMac from 1990s, like seven, like the first iMac. Steve Jobs revealed it was like that blue, and it had that kind of shade of blue. It's like the iMac that is out now that's blue is like that same, very similar like color. So like it definitely is like nostalgic, retro, a little bit. Um, so that's what's cool about the blue. Yeah, but then the iMac though had the green too. There was different colors, green, red, it had all those colors. So um it's just like I love green, but I don't have anything that's like uh I mean like yeah, I don't have anything green like in terms of like a computer or anything. And well no, my iPhone 13. Sorry, my iPhone 13 was great green. I chose it because I loved the green color. It was a really great shade of green, the iPhone 13. But I had, because I'm on my dad's family plan, I had to mm, give up the iPhone 13 for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. But the only color that they had available I liked was the blue, the navy blue. Um, there wasn't like a green option. But if my new iMac was blue, it blends well with my MacBook Air and my iPhone 17, because then every Apple product I have then is all blue, and so it kind of all blends in. But I kind of felt like since two blend in, that one should be different, and it should differentiate between the colors. Um, like for my eye, like to have everything blue. Okay, my MacBook Air is blue, my phone's blue here, my iMac is blue. Maybe it can sort of maybe it could get boring. If one of them out of the three is a different color. I feel like that keeps it fresh. I don't know. Chris says, I don't think we are getting the Scream 7 trailer 2 today, because I think it would have been out by now on YouTube. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Spyglass, I mean Kevin Williamson especially, he would like be announcing um he would announce that the trailer would be coming out. Because I think he announced when the first trailer came out, and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna drop tomorrow or something." So like everyone was like knew it was gonna actually come out. So unless it's like confirmed by Spyglass, Ken Williamson, all I mean, what you're seeing on YouTube is deep fakes. I'm not sorry, not deep fakes. Sorry, no, what you're seeing is clickbait. I'm sorry, clickbait. You know, basically people that make videos, about you know reporting, horror movie news, and they have titles, in there on the video that makes you want to click on it. You know, it's clickbait, it's reviews, um, you know, anything for a buck. um, Kaylee says maybe tomorrow, sneak peek Saturday is still kind of a hard trailer thing, I think. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they had there was that Scream 7 like Christmas teaser trailer that came out. I think it was on Christmas. That was like an order that was cool, but it didn't like show anything. I think it was just like Spyglass wishing everyone Merry Christmas. Um, a Christmas themed Scream movie would be great. I would love to a Scream movie to take place during Christmas. I think especially after Terrifier 3, it's like I want to see Scream have a Christmas theme, Scream film. Like obviously you can't do it with Michael Myers, and Jason, but like Freddy Krueger, Ghostface. There's certain slashers I think you can do. Chucky, I think you can some slashers that you could definitely do that. Um, and even like like Cult of Chucky was like wintertime, that snow setting, so I mean I don't know, like I think that would be pretty cool if they did that. Because Terrifier 3 did it so well, if it can be done in that style where it really captures, that Christmas time and, that tone. Um, yeah, but, it's been driving me crazy that we haven't gotten the next Scream 7 trailer. Like, I just want it to come out so I can react to it and I can talk more about Scream 7, and then, I can focus, more on my own content, not content, but like my own movies right now, like my scripts, my stories and everything that I'm writing. Like you know, uh, I'm a planner, so I plan. I'm a Virgo, so if it's not obvious, and I plan things out all the time in my mind. So I'm someone that like I don't do well when things don't go according to plan. Um, so I thought that the Scream 7 second trailer was gonna drop last month, and my mind was, like, planning, "Okay, I'm gonna edit this day and write this on this day," and, like, I had, like, my own personal schedule in my mind, and the trailer not dropping last month, kind of messed things up a little bit, but, what can you do? Um, yeah. But more news came out, for Scream 7. Today it was today or yesterday, more news have come out, though, about it, of, like, where they're going with, like, the series after 7. Like, it's not just gonna be a Scream 8, there's gonna be a Scream 9, which I definitely predicted, there was gonna be they were gonna make a new trilogy out of this. Because now it's 3 trilogies. It's the first 3 Scream films is the OG trilogy. Scream 4 to 6 is the sequel trilogy. And then, Scream 7 to 9, I call the new trilogy. Um, so I think this is the new trilogy, and it's a 3 set of films, 7, 8, 9, and this is gonna be Sydney's story and her family and, passing the torch and everything. But, like but 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 basically, they're not doing that. Like, Tatum is gonna be, she's gonna be like a main like character for all 3 of those movies, but Sydney's gonna be, like, involved for all 3 films, so it's not like she's gonna die, she's gonna be, like, in the series for, like, a while. Maybe that's what they want, I mean, Spyglass made some deal with Nev Campbell, and they're like, "Hey, let's do more, Scream films," Um, I don't know. It could be, like, Kevin Williamson's idea and Nev Campbell. They're probably, like, talking a lot of, like, where they're gonna go with the story, and they really could have a really good collab. Maybe, like, the team they have now, like, they're a really good team, and so they're confident to do, like, a whole set of, like, 3 films. Um, but, you know, the series has to move on, like, that's why I thought Scream 5 and 6 was originally, was, passing it on to new characters, you know? And, if Sydney's gonna be, like, in 7, 8, and 9, then Tatum's never going to be, like, the front center really of the story. It's not really gonna pass the torch on to her, because the Scream 7 trailer really felt like it was doing that, which means, like, something, Sydney could possibly die. I know people don't wanna see Sydney die, but you don't want the series to, like, rehash itself consistently, it has to stay fresh, and, if it doesn't, it remains in, like, one place forever, doesn't go anywhere new, um, then it'll kind of feel overplayed. I mean, how many times, are we gonna get the Sydney story, So I think this is a great opportunity just for Sydney to really pass the torch on to a new character, and, uh and then for her to be given, like, she could be given a character death that's done well, like, and it could even be a thing where, like, Sydney doesn't even have to die necessarily, like, it could be where, like, Tatum, after Scream 7, Tatum goes to college, and Sydney, um, has, like, moved somewhere else, she lives somewhere new now, and she talks to, like, Tatum, from afar, like, on the phone and, like, FaceTime, but she's not, like, in her life anymore, like she was, because she's in college. Like, maybe they'll have Sydney there, for, like, moments, that she can have with Tatum, but, like, they're not gonna make her, like, uh I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what they're fully gonna do. Um, I just hope whatever they do, it's good, you know, that it's executed well. I think the next Scream trilogy needs to have damn good reason to exist. Not trying to be mean, just they need it really put their heart and souls into it. Kevin as director with free reign. No, no, no. I definitely agree. Like, I'm not, like, all excited, for, like, 3 set of films. Like, I'm excited for Scream 7. Um, but do they really want to, announce these sequels and have these plans when Scream 7 still hasn't come out yet? The box office, numbers, and reviews, from critics and audiences, if people will even like the film, and like the direction that they went, because what if when Scream 7 comes out, people don't like it, and there's backlash and all these things, and Spyglass is kind of forced to go a different direction all over again, and maybe they don't want to run into that. Maybe they're afraid that'll happen, and that's why, they didn't film like Scream 8 with Scream 7 kind of thing. Um, uh, they just have this, like, new outline if Scream 7 does well, They're not gonna go ahead and film Scream 8 and 9, unless Scream 7 is a smash, is a hit at the box office, and it has to do really well, it has to do well, it has to make a lot of money, because if it doesn't, then I think the franchise will probably make then only one more movie, and then they'll probably leave it alone for a while. Um, I mean, it always comes down to money. So if Scream 7 fails, it's like it like bombs, like we're talking Joker 2 level, like yeah, they'll probably just they won't even make another Scream movie again. And if they ever do, it'll be like a TV series thing like that they've done in the past, or a straight to like video, streaming, movie. It won't be like going to the theater. Um so that's pretty much what will happen if 7 bombs that bad. Uh but if Scream 7 does really well, of course they'll make an 8, and if 8 does good, they'll make a 9, And even if 9 does great and they say, "Oh, Scream 9 is the last movie." It won't be the last movie. They'll come back to Scream, They'll eventually, even if it's just in like 5 years, 6 years, like, or they may even wait 10 years, but they'll definitely make like more after 9 if it does well financially, because there's money to be made, and then that's what studios care about more than anything is the money, not the director's vision and the writer's vision and wanting to tell an amazing story. Those days in Hollywood are over. It's now just like, what can we do to make profit? We need to make profit. Oh, here's a series that's existed for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Let's do another sequel or a reboot or this or that. And they take that chance because they think that they're more likely to get more more profit that way, rather than taking risks for with new original projects, new blockbusters, like new big science fiction movies, fantasy films that are like not based off a book, or entirely, fresh from like a writer's mind, and like taking that risk, and getting filmmakers that generally want to tell something original and fresh, and show that people, show that there is still originality, you know, in Hollywood, like true originality when it comes to like blockbusters, and not everything has to be a remake and a reboot, sequel, and prequel and spin-off. Like, um, but this, unless the studios don't want to take that risk, it'll never happen. It's really unfortunate. You know, so we're going to be getting these like, upon sequels, reboots, like for I don't know how long in our lives, probably for a very long time, as nostalgia sells. Mm-mm. So imagine an animated Scream TV show for streaming, linked to the original 4 movies as a direct sequel. Would that be horrible or a neat tribute? Imagine an animated Scream TV show for streaming. Uh, okay. Linked to the original 4 movies as a direct sequel. That would be amazing. Kaylee, that's a brilliant concept. In fact, you should pitch that to Spyglass. Um, pitch it to pitch it to Kevin Williamson. Like, that is brilliant. That is awesome. An animated uh Scream show that's like a sequel to 4, and it's like, but a prequel to 5. That would be cool. That would be cool. That would be, because that's a 10-year gap, between 4 and 5. That was a 10-year, like, you know. So you really could do something with that. And with animation, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely a neat tribute, Kaylee. That's a neat tribute. Yeah. Did you have a good New Year, Kaylee? Ow, sorry, my back. Okay. Yeah. How was everyone's New Year? Happy New Year, guys. Anyone that's in the live chat, Happy New Year. Um, I don't know if Chris is still in the live chat, but Happy New Year to you, Chris. Um, and to anyone that's watching my live stream, Happy New Year. Yeah, I had a pretty good New Year. Un uneventful uneventful, but nice. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm glad it was a nice New Year. Yeah, mine was Stranger Things. Seeing that in the theater. The finale, that was absolutely amazing. Oh my god. That moment when, like, it cut to black and everyone, like, was like, "Whoa," like, everyone thought, like, Steve, like, was gonna die. And then it reveals Jonathan saves him. That was oh my god, the clapping in the theater. Oh, it was such an amazing experience, and it was for, like, a finale episode of a show, it was just incredible. It's a shame, Netflix hates the movie theater experience. They hate physical media because, like, Stranger Things, like, a 4K set of all 5 seasons, you know, would be incredible, and it would make a lot of money. Netflix would make a lot of profit from that. Um, and, they released only 1 episode of Stranger Things of the whole season, but every seat was taken. It got sold out. Every single showing got sold out, you know? So it's really disrespectful, Netflix doesn't, respect the movie theater experience, and physical media. It's really sad, you know? And now they've bought in Warner Brothers, and, everyone's now worried, that, physical media is gonna be attacked now, and we're gonna be getting less of it because I know there's, like, a contract that extends to, like, 2029, but then what happens after 2029, right? Like, I don't want Paramount buying Warner Brothers either, I don't want Warner Brothers to be bought by studio. Um, I think Paramount and Netflix are both bad options. Um, I can say though about Paramount is Paramount wouldn't try to take away the movie theater experience that Netflix is going to be doing. That's that's a really really bad thing is to lose the that is to physical media. Physical media is everything. You know, last time I saw this level of event TV was Game of Thrones finale. Glad Stranger Things was better received than last Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This was oh my god, way better finale than Game of Thrones. Way better. This was I mean, for the ups and downs that this season has had, it was an amazing finale. It's the best thing about the season is the finale. It was truly the best part about that entire season. Aside from the fourth episode was incredible, in volume one. So I'd say like the fourth episode and then the eighth episode, the last episode are the best two episodes in my opinion. Um, those two episodes were really on that level. Um, but I've enjoyed this season though. Like I didn't love every single moment. And there were things that I didn't necessarily like about it, but to the point where so many people are like, "Oh, it's the worst TV ever. Volume 2 is the worst or whatever," and how low rated it's like the lowest rated episode of Stranger Things. Like the 7th episode, I'm like, people really hated it that much? Like it's not that deep. Like I mean, geez. Um I liked the 7th episode. I didn't, like, love it, but I liked it. But, people, love to hate. Haters gonna hate, and, they're gonna make their videos. There are hour to 2 hour to 3 hour videos talk about how bad Stranger Things has become. It's not the same show. Blah 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 blah. Here's the next fourth, fifth freaking ad on my video. You know, it's all clickbait. You know, I don't think Paramount or Netflix will get Warner. The thing still needs signed off, but Warner is struggling to stay afloat. Don't know how long they can keep operating at this level. All right. I don't think Paramount or Netflix will get Warner Brothers. Okay. The thing still needs to be signed off, but Warner is struggling to stay afloat and don't know how long they can keep operating at this level. Warner is spending too much, but de-investing from theaters is just wrong. Yeah, I agree with you, Kaylee. I did not know that. I thought the Netflix Warner Bros. Merge actually happened. I'm glad that it hasn't officially signed off. Yeah, because I think it's a bad idea, and everyone has been saying it's a bad idea. Like no one is all on board for this. No one is excited about this. And it shows that physical media is still very relevant. It's still popular with people. That Nightmare on Elm Street box set being sold out instantly, like it did. You know, it shows that there's a supply and demand. And if there was a Stranger Things Amazon, you know, Steelbook 5 season set, 4K Blu-ray with all these bonus features and blah blah blah, and it came with this and the Steelbook set and all this. Here it is for a limited time. What's going to happen? It's probably going to get sold out just as fast as the Nightmare series, as the Nightmare on Elm Street movies did, as that 4K Steelbook set did. I guarantee you. You know. So I don't understand why Netflix is like that. It's like Netflix, you already ruined Blockbuster. One of my favorite things about life and my childhood, like it wasn't even a childhood thing. Like Blockbuster was amazing because it's for all ages, for everyone. Like it's a place you go to rent movies, buy movies, and it was so exciting, like even like despite my anxiety, like going into Blockbuster, you just felt a way, like you felt a certain way. It was amazing. You go through all the aisles and you see all the cover arts, the cases, and you're able to actually like read, the synopsis, and you can go up to people up front that work there at Blockbuster and ask them, you know, do you know this movie? Is it any good? Would you recommend this? So there was like that communication with people. They'd have like, movies playing, or like movie trailers, playing like on their TV screens when you go into Blockbuster. Uh, it was incredible, and you would rent whichever movies you'd want, like the 3 night rental, thing, and it was amazing. And then you knew like if that was a movie that you wanted to generally buy or not. And it was super cool. Netflix was like, hey, if people don't want to go to Blockbuster, to rent movies, you can rent it by us, by the mail. How that became how that was how it was so successful for Netflix, I'll never get it. I'll never, especially I remember the 2000s. I remember like people did not want to mail um like their DVDs back and then like get them mailed to them, and like 'cause it was so like complicating, like it was a new thing, but like everybody I knew like went to Blockbuster, like they just went to Blockbuster. Um, and I know Netflix like would carry certain movies that Blockbuster wouldn't. I think that was where Netflix benefited the most, was like, hey, Blockbuster you know, doesn't have this movie available because it's NC-17 or for whatever reason. and Netflix, had it and was like, here, we have what Blockbuster doesn't have. I think that's where they made their profit a lot. Was that. Um, but then, of course, when they created their digital streaming service, then everything really changed. Um, and also Netflix, when it first came out, they had like everything on there. You had like everyone thought Netflix was the streaming service that would have everything on there. No one thought that there was going to be 10 different streaming services, you know, back then. Everyone thought, "Oh, Netflix, that's the place to go to watch this and watch that, watch everything." Netflix was the place that you would go to watch everything. Now it's not, you know. So because of that, it makes me even more angry that they destroyed Blockbuster. I mean, you could really blame the owner of Blockbuster and how he handled the business. He's a big part to blame too, but especially not carrying NC-17 movies at Blockbuster was a huge uh, that was a bad idea. Um, by being censoring movies like that. Um, because Netflix, they have their selection. It's NC-17. It's all different kinds of ratings of movies. Um, but Blockbuster didn't like evolve, and it's not like they created like their own streaming service. You know, um, they didn't kind of like try to compete really with Netflix because they Blockbuster had like that their website, and I didn't even know how to use it. It was like slow, and I was like, "What is this?" It was a disaster. Um, and it was really sad, to see Blockbuster go. And what I would love is like Blockbuster VR. Like in VR, to be able to like virtually go into like a Blockbuster store, and you go around the aisles and look at the movies and stuff, and it's all in AI, like not sorry, AI, all in VR. Like that would be um amazing, but like Blockbuster, they didn't really try after a certain amount of time. They just sort of gave up, and it really is sad because that was it was a big part of my life. My mom worked there. She worked there, and it's and I knew so many people that worked at Blockbuster, and it's just sad. Just sad. It really sucks. We don't have Hollywood Video anymore. Like we don't have any of that. It's I know like it's so convenient to be able to just rent a movie at home, you know, but I think people should be given that option. Whether they want to rent a movie at home or watch on a streaming service or rent it from a store, and actually watch that Blu-ray, that 4K Blu-ray disc. You know what I mean? Um, because a 4K Blu-ray is higher quality than 4K digital. So, if someone can rent, a 4K Blu-ray of a movie for a few nights instead of having to buy it, and they can watch it in that the highest quality that's available of that movie, you know, I still think that would be successful. I think that, even if they just someone entirely came up and created like a whole new video store. It was like the new Blockbuster, and sold had 4K Blu-rays in there, and like a bunch of Blu-rays, and it was mainly focused on that, not necessarily DVD, but Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray. And you know, you call it a certain name and you style things up and you know, don't make the same mistakes that Blockbuster made and some other video stores did, and it could be something really successful. Um, I miss I just miss physical media, like renting physical media, you know. Imagine like, I come home from Blockbuster, and these are my rentals. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing that I can do, you know? So, um, okay. Netflix wants to be the only way you can watch their shows. Oh yeah. They don't want people remembering that DVDs and Blu-ray exist. Facts. Even when they had the old Marvel shows they produced, they were angry. Yeah, all facts. When Marvel chose to put them on Blu-ray, yes, facts. A blockbuster video game linked to your streaming services would be incredible, even just for browsing what's on there as you walk through the aisles. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Even a blockbuster was like, hey, we're back in VR, you know? And like you rent the movie, you know, and then it takes you to like a room and it's maybe it's like a blockbuster auditorium theater, movie theater, you know, or it's like, you know, a home and it's like a home and it's like in the 90s or like 2000s, you know, it's like back then, like, you know, and it's like has like that kind of look, you know, and you're like in a living room and it's like an old school TV, you know, and you're watching, and then you put like the VHS or the you know, I mean, you can decide, you know, however, like if you want to like watch old VHSs that way, you want to watch, you know, DVDs or Blu-rays or 4Ks, like they give you all those multiple options. Because in VR, you know, you can have like all the aisles in the world, you know. It can be like the biggest video store ever, you know, and I think that would be very cool. And, you know, because people are still then renting movies digitally, you know? So, you know, but it's like people can have the experience of, you know, what it was like for my generation and previous generations, you know, of how, you know, how it was to watch movies, you know, to be able to experience it that way, I think would be really cool. Um, you know, And you know what? You never know. You know, something very well like that could happen in the future. It certainly will not be from Netflix, you know, but you know, I'm not gonna say never, you know, that that'll happen. Um yeah. Kaylee, I think in the next 10 minutes I'm gonna get off. Because I have to use the bathroom really, really bad. But I'm gonna stay on for another 10 minutes. Uh But, yeah, I'll have to go, unfortunately. I would keep the streaming going, like, way longer, obviously up to, like, 9:10, you know, around there, 9:15. Um, but, I have to use the bathroom, you know, I'm not gonna ask you to wait, you know? So, it'd be one thing if I was making, like, a 24-hour live stream doing something crazy like that, you know? But, you know, I'll definitely be live streaming again. I'll um, definitely soon. I mean, I'm filming my movie this month, so I have a lot to do and to finish for Christmas Nightmare. You know, I have a lot to do with that. But I'm going to be live streaming more, especially you know with my new iMac. So definitely there'll be um, more live streams for me because I love this. And yeah, I will eventually try Instagram live streaming and you know and see how that is. And take your advice on that. Okay, thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, I really have to use the bathroom. I'm so sorry. Really, really sorry. Um, but so I think I'm gonna have to wrap this up, unfortunately. But thank you so much, Kaylee, for joining my live stream. You're amazing, and I'm grateful to have you as my subscribers and as a friend. And I just thank you um, for all your support, and being my moderator. You'll always be my moderator with my live streams. So I really appreciate everything. So thank you. And I will definitely keep you updated. I'll let you know, when I want to live stream again, and I'll find out, it's a good time for you too. And we'll definitely, do this again. Hopefully, there'll be more people in the live chat, but if they're not, I love just talking to you, on these live streams. I'm fine with just that. Like, even if it's just one person, in my live stream, or one, two people, like that makes me happy. So, I don't need, hundreds of thousands of people talking to me, you know, it's fine. So thank you, Kaylee. And I hope you have a great rest of your new year. And let's hope for a great 2026. Let's hope for a really, really good year. I'm not going to hold my breath, but there are things I'm anticipating and looking forward to, and I am excited about. So there is that. And yeah, so you take care, Kaylee. Have a great night. Um, and I'll talk to you soon, and I will talk to everybody else, all my subscribers, soon. Stay tuned, guys, for more updates on my movies, especially Christmas Nightmare. And I will talk to you all very soon. And happy 2026. All right, peace.